try and still make time for doing the things that he loves too. But he's been my biggest supporter, and he's always very understanding. My family, uh, they don't really, I don't think, understand what I do. They're supportive. I think they think I'm a little nutty. My mom is 84, so she always says the same thing to me after every show. She'll say, "So you're done now. So you can stop going to the gym. You can eat what you want." And I'm like, "No, it's not. That's not how it works." And I explain it to her every time, and she doesn't quite get it. So she just thinks that once my shows are over, I can just stop going to the gym and I can just, eat out all the time and eat whatever I want. So she doesn't quite get my lifestyle, but she knows it's something that I enjoy. So she supports me in it. But I do
That's
think us bodybuilders, we are a little crazy. So,
well, like I said, what my other side would say, like, what doesn't make you stranger makes you stronger. Oh, hey, Christine, I want to tell you something. You are beautiful. He meant it. You are a beautiful lady. Appreciate you telling you. But yeah, because people don't understand because you're doing something that's not in the norm, especially for a woman.
right,
You're, most I know they tell me that sometimes they lost friendships because of this sport because they don't understand it. You can't go to functions, you might bring your own food because you go to a barbecue or a wedding because we just have some of the barbecues. You bring your own food because you can't eat what's there because you're prepping or it might be your peak week
right,
or it's just there's so much that involves in the sport and you know what you have to really be dedicated and focused. So many people don't have that same mentality.
right.
Sometimes it's easy just to get sidetracked by small little things in life, but if you're determined to do this show and you're determined to work out, you're determined to get in shape, you're determined to buy a $15,000 posing suit because you want to look nice on stage, that's what you should. And the thing is, I wish there was better ways to, because you got to pay out yourself. I wish there was sponsorship to help some of your competitors. I know most time it's gonna, sponsors gonna put money behind the big stars, but compared like yourself, you deserve the opportunity. I know I talk about this quite often on my channel, how some ladies have to do certain sites, as I call them, the meet websites, that's what they are, to make the income. But you know what, there's better ways to make money. Because like I said, you have the coaching, you have your coaching and training certification. That helps out a little bit. Your
Right.
job, you probably, do pretty good with your job, but I feel still again, I think there should be more benefits as a pro bodybuilder. I mean, I would be this is like I say this. I've even makes money off of you competitors.
Right.
We go to the shows as fans to see y'all. We don't go see the judges or the promoters or the sponsors. We come see y'all. And if anything, it should invest in your athletes. Because like I said, special things can help you. Like, okay, let's give you a discount on you if you want to stay in a motel.
Right.
Let's okay, if you eat at this place, we'll get you like a voucher. Little things here and there that could truly help, especially when you're competing, you're training, you're working out, and just sometimes take a little stress off your shoulders.
Right. Right. Yep, that would be nice because it is not a cheap sport. It is not a sport that you can do if you are struggling financially. There's a lot of expenses between training, gym memberships, trainers, coaches, posing coaches, tanning, makeup, hair, suits, flights to get to where you're going, hotels, rental cars. It is definitely not a cheap sport. And like you said, the money you win doesn't really even touch what you've spent for your prep for that season. It's just will just be nice to get a check, but I mean, it's not gonna do much as far as what you've already spent. So
Yeah, that's why I say
every day are expensive. I order my vitamins, and they're several $100s a month just taking vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D3, fish oil. I mean, my vitamins are expensive. Just being healthy is expensive.
yeah, I know when I started to eat a little healthier, it costs a lot more money just to buy a big pack of bologna, like two for five on sale. But when you get nice lean meats, which is cost like $10, but it's
Yep.
healthier. It's
Yep.
healthier, but it's
Really
expensive.
expensive. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But anyway, we're not gonna. We do appreciate time she has given us, and this
Thank
is why I enjoy reaching out to people like yourself, like you. All these ladies who are in the sport who are, I would say, this is why I say it. You got your boots on the ground, 10 toes down. You're the people that keep the sport going. Yes, it's going to be some people compare you to the top stuff competitors. Like, this is something I like to show off every time I do my interview. I get this issue of muscle development, and it is, a friend of mine, Eunice Kitchen. Shout out to Eunice. She was at the Olympia. That was last year, and it was like right a little bit around my birthday. And she went and she had Andrea sign it for me. I'm a fan of Andrea. I think she's a lovely lady. She's beautiful. I would love to have her on my channel with Vase. I This is why I do this, do talk about women like yourself, to give y'all recognition, to show that this is a sport that if you're determined and passionate about it, you can do. So much that people don't understand about bodybuilding. I think you need to educate themselves. If you know somebody as a bodybuilder, if you follow somebody who's social media bodybuilder, reach out to them, ask questions. I know some people make these comments like, this chick trying to be manly. She's getting muscles like that. Here's the thing is this. It's funny. The guy who's talking about you trying to get muscles like her, but didn't have tits like I do. But, yeah. But this is what it is. You have to respect the overall, the focus in terms of you are not just a woman, you are an athlete.
Right.
And yes, there's guys out there. There's gonna be one guys on this side who's not gonna like it. There's the guys who like it too much. Yeah, as we call, I admit my crime. I'm muscle per smoke. But doing this content and doing interviews and talking to you ladies and learning stuff. I mean, it's just I learn more day by day. But what it takes. I mean, I couldn't do bodybuilding. And, I don't know. I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. But I really understand, especially aspects of what it takes to train, to work out, to stick to your diet, to regimen, to have the difference between having discipline and be motivated. Is just so much that I think if people are more open-minded about it and educate yourself about the sport, I think the sport will probably get more respect and more recognition.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and there's a difference between motivation and discipline. Motivation is not always there. There are days that we wake up, we're human, and we're like, I would like to just sit on the couch and not move and eat a bag of potato chips. I mean, we're human beings, but discipline makes us say, absolutely not. Get the hell up. You're going to the gym. So there's a big difference. And one of the things I always makes me laugh is when people say, well, I could never be a bodybuilder. I like food. I'm like, oh, trust me, we like food. We love food. But we just don't eat it. I try and think of food as fuel for my body and not pleasure. So that way I can change how I look at food, and I just need to eat what I need to eat to meet the goal that I need to meet. But when it's a time for a cheat meal, I enjoy the food. So I enjoyed it. Show day, I couldn't even make a decision on what I was going to eat. So I was just ordering it all. The lady was staring at me, the waitress, like, how much food are you going to order? I was like, just keep it coming. So,
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't call it cheating. It's a refeed. It's for your chance for your body to take a little. You're not cheating. It's not like you're Maury Povich and said, Christina, I saw you were at the subway. You should have been there, and here comes Joey Greco coming around the corner. But
right.
it's about what works in your development. And this thing is, I say this. Everybody says trust the process. Nah, you shouldn't trust the process. You have to understand the process first.
Yeah.
And when you understand it, then you can trust it. You just don't go in something blindly
Right.
without studying, realizing what you're getting into.
Right.
Trust is something that you really have to commit yourself to. And just this sport, there's so much to it. Like if you were somebody talking with somebody who say, you know what, they're interested, seriously interested, what would you tell them? What they need to do or what they need to learn?
First and foremost, they need to say have a coach, but there's so many coaches out there, and you need to be able to trust your coach. There are too many coaches with terrible protocols. Um, and I'll be honest, my coach has gotten some slack in the media before, and I can honestly say he has never. And I'm a nurse. I have a medical background. He has never run a protocol on me that I have ever questioned. Not with supplements, with performance PDs, not with diuretics. He has never run anything on me or asked me to do anything that would make me go, I don't think so. But there's a lot out there. There's a lot of people out there that coach and don't have a good enough background, and they are doing their athletes a disservice. Now, I will have to say this, as an athlete, you are a grown adult. It is your job to understand what you're putting in your body. So I think a lot of times there gets too much pressure on coaches that, well, you need to trust your coach. Your coach needs to guide you. You also need to understand, in bodybuilding, we do use performance enhancing drugs, and you need to know what those are and what they do and what the side effects are, and whether or not you're willing to take those. But as an adult, you need to make that conscious decision, because a lot of these athletes will say, oh, my coach screwed me up. My coach made me take this, made me take. Well, you're an adult. You should have researched what you were taking, and you should know what you're putting in your body first and foremost. And maybe that's just my medical background, but I would never just willy-nilly take something that I knew nothing about and be like, well, my coach told me to take it, so I'm going to take it. That I wouldn't do that. So I would say, do your research, find a good coach, a reputable coach. And even if you have a coach, know what you're doing, know what you're putting in your body, research, you know. So that's the biggest, that's one of the biggest things, is own your own stuff. Don't put it all on your coach.
Yeah, because some coaches will have a cookie cutter plan for one competitor, but then
Right.
it's not gonna work for the other competitor. Women and men are different. Our biologies are different. We do share some traits, organs and lungs, but there's so much difference. And what you give for a man is not gonna work for a woman. And then if you don't sit down, okay, and talk about what I really need to get me to that next level,
Right.
not just whatever gear or stuff you take, but what I want to work on, like what body part I want to work on, what motivates me to keep going to do with this thing. There's so much involved in it, and you have to be, instead again, you have to be completely involved. You have to follow your passions, and also, importantly, be consistent when you do this, because you
Right.
just can't half-ass it. You just can't, work out, one a day, and then you have to be consistent. You have to be determined. You have to concentrate, because there's so much involved into this. So, I'm gonna ask you this: what would you, as a competitor, want out of bodybuilding?
Um, well, for me, since I do bodybuilding, more shows with women's bodybuilding in them, more recognition for women bodybuilders, and even better payouts for women's bodybuilders, because our payouts are low compared to like bikini and stuff like that. So, but in general, just more shows for us, more recognition.
I would agree on that, because there's a show coming up next week that is the Europa Championships. I saw that. I follow Female Bodybuilding Channel. They posted that Nadia Copso is going to compete in that. I said like this: why she's already qualified? Why are you doing a show where you had the Olympic coming up in another 4 or 5 weeks? Why do this side show?
Right.
I understand you want to be competitive, but at the same time, with so few shows for women's bodybuilding, I think promoters need to be open to it, because, like I said, I've seen women like Shira Priami, Julia Wetzel, that chick who just won at the Alina show, who's moving up from women's physique to women's bodybuilding, because there's opportunities there, and promoters need to get out that mindset that, oh, women's bodybuilding, yeah. But you know what? If you give the opportunity to the women will come.
Right.
And one problem is also it takes you ladies a lot longer to get ready, because there was a couple of physique shows where there were a lot of competitors in women's bodybuilding, because it takes some time. You know, the biggest show that used to be for first year for women's bodybuilding physique, a couple of divisions was Jones was a classic. But as you saw, Arnold, he kicked her out, it's just, I think it's just always going to be a double standard when it comes to women with muscle and men with muscle. Yeah. Here we got comments
Right.
from my
Yep.
man.
There is.
Yeah, yeah. He got comments from my man Balls Deep. He's coming a little late than usual. He says, "Good afternoon, gorgeous." He's a fan. He says, Chicago in here. Yeah. Also, he says, smash the like button. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Also, he says, blessings beautiful. And he says this, he says, Schmo gang. We get it. And she asks, who's the coach? Her coach is Shelby Starnes. You're a little bit late, brother. You should have been here earlier. You would have caught it. And also, I don't know if I want to show this one, but sometimes I do it every now and then because these guys be wanting to ask and says,
Yep.
it says, flex for me, baby girl. I don't, that's up to her if she wants to or not.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I have a t-shirt on. I'm fully
That's
dressed
fine.
today.
That's fine. Like I said, I usually do like every now and then. I be a guy saying, George, you're not asking me flexing them. Sometimes this is what I say this. Sometimes they may not want to flex. Sometimes they may not want to do it all the time. That's why I don't ask. Because sometimes you gotta they posing, they're practicing, and then they get enough of it. So that's why. So guys, I know guys tell me, say, George, you ain't asking the girls to flex enough. I don't. I know some guys who do it, but here like this. Sometimes they may get tired of doing the flexing. They do it. They practice flexing. They pose flexing. They just maybe want a little break in this conversation. But every now and then, maybe just for somebody who I think, okay, I might ask every now and then, but not often. Yeah. So so you got a little flex there, Balls Deep. So put away your toilet tissue and your lotion. Yeah. So what's the plan? As you know, there's not many shows for Men's Bodybuilding for this year. So what's the plan for next year?
Well, I'm off season now, or improvement season, so no more shows this year for me. And like I said, I'm waiting on my feedback, and I will take that feedback from the judges and work on whatever it is they say that I need to work on, plan myself, and hopefully, 5-6 months off season, and then I can go back into prep again and shoot for, I really don't know what show, honestly, because I haven't looked at the 2025 pro show list, so I don't know. Maybe one of the earlier shows if I can get ready in time. Because I since I just turned pro, I'm so used to looking at national level shows and not pro shows. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, yeah. Well, Trio Dynasty, it was first year this year, and they have women's over 40. Still, like I said, you're in Georgia. There's still the Linda show. Then there's also Tampa. They do also women over 40, over 50. They have also Chicago.
Yep.
Any one of those shows, Chicago probably would fit because it'd be within the range where you get ready to prep. But I think, like I said, it's about timing. It's about what show works for you and how you want to go. And people, this is why I say this: support these ladies, show them respect. I know there's guys out there say, "Hey, Christine, you're kind of cute. I kind of like you. If I do something for you, no, stop it, guys, stop it. Don't do that." So, approach this lady as a lady says, "Mrs. Ware, we are a company. We're looking to sponsor somebody. So we like your story, being a mother, former military, a nurse. This is something that really works for our interests. So if you are interested in getting sponsorship, if this works with you and works for us, we have a plan for you. It helps with your cost of your travel, stuff like that. Little things